Imagine a grand banquet, filled with laughter, feasting, and the clinking of stolen golden vessels from God's own temple. The king is defiant, arrogant, believing himself untouchable. But suddenly, in the midst of the revelry, a disembodied hand appears, writing a mysterious message on the wall. Fear grips every heart, for this isn't just a scribble, it's a divine judgment that will change history overnight. This is a story about pride, prophecy, and the sudden, dramatic fall of a mighty empire. Welcome back to Gospel Glimpse. Last time, we stood in awe of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's unwavering faith in the fiery furnace. Today, we're staying in Babylon, but jumping forward in time to a new king, a new challenge, and a terrifying message from God himself. Get ready for the dramatic and prophetic story of the writing on the wall and the fall of Babylon. Our story takes place many years after King Nebuchadnezzar, in the reign of his grandson, King Belshazzar. Unlike his grandfather, who eventually acknowledged God's power, Belshazzar was arrogant and showed no respect for the Lord. One night, King Belshazzar held a magnificent banquet for 1,000 of his nobles. As they feasted, drinking wine, the king, in his arrogance, commanded that the gold and silver goblets that his grandfather Nebuchadnezzar had taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem be brought to the banquet. He and his nobles, his wives, and his concubines drank wine from them, toasting their false gods of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. It was a blatant act of disrespect and blasphemy against the one true God. But God was watching. Suddenly, as they were feasting, the fingers of a human hand appeared and began writing on the plaster of the wall, near the lampstand in the royal palace. The king watched, horrified. As the hand wrote 3 mysterious words, King Belshazzar's face turned pale, and he was so terrified that his knees knocked together, and his legs gave way. He cried out for the enchanters, astrologers, and diviners to be brought in. "Whoever can read this writing and tell me what it means," he declared, "will be clothed in purple, have a gold chain placed around their neck, and be made the 3rd highest ruler in the kingdom." But none of the wise men of Babylon could read the writing or explain its meaning. The king grew even more terrified, and his nobles were baffled. Then the queen mother, a wise woman who remembered the days of King Nebuchadnezzar, entered the banquet hall. She said, "Your Majesty, live forever. Don't let your thoughts alarm you, or your face be so pale. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him. In the time of your father, he was found to have insight and intelligence and wisdom like that of the gods. King Nebuchadnezzar, your father, appointed him chief of the magicians, enchanters, astrologers, and diviners. Call for Daniel. He will tell you the interpretation." So, Daniel, now an old man, was brought before the king. Belshazzar said to him, "I have heard that you can give interpretations and solve difficult problems. If you can read this writing and tell me what it means, you will be clothed in purple, have a gold chain placed around your neck, and be made the 3rd highest ruler in the kingdom." Daniel, without hesitation, replied, "You may keep your royal gifts and give your rewards to someone else. Nevertheless, I will read the writing for the king and tell him what it means." He then powerfully reminded Belshazzar of his grandfather Nebuchadnezzar's arrogance and how God had humbled him. "But you, Belshazzar, his successor, have not humbled yourself. Though you knew all this," Daniel declared, "instead, you have set yourself up against the Lord of heaven. You had the goblets from his temple brought to you, and you and your nobles, your wives, and your concubines drank wine from them, while praising your gods of silver, gold, bronze, iron, wood, and stone, gods that cannot see or hear or understand. But you did not honor the God who holds in his hand your life and all your ways. Therefore he sent the hand that wrote the inscription." Then Daniel revealed the meaning of the mysterious words mean, tekel, parson. Mean, God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. Parson or Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Imagine the king's terror as he heard these words. His reign was over. He had been found unworthy. His kingdom would be lost. Despite the dire prophecy against him, King Belshazzar kept his word and had Daniel clothed in purple, a gold chain placed around his neck, and proclaimed him the third highest ruler in the kingdom. But that very night, the prophecy came true. Belshazzar, king of the Babylonians, was slain, and Darius the Mede took over the kingdom. The mighty city of Babylon, which had seemed impregnable, fell in one night, exactly as God's message on the wall had foretold. The story of the writing on the wall is a dramatic and profound reminder that God is sovereign over all kingdoms and all rulers. It teaches us about the dangers of pride and disrespect towards God, and that true power comes from humbling ourselves before Him. It also shows us that God reveals His plans, and His judgments are always just and true, even when they seem sudden and unexpected. What do you think is the most terrifying moment in this story? The hand appearing on the wall, Daniel's bold interpretation, or the swift fall of the mighty Babylonian Empire? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Our journey through the Bible is far from over. Next time, we'll move into the New Testament to witness the joyful and awe-inspiring story of the birth of Jesus. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing Bible stories. Thank you for watching. Do well to like, subscribe, and drop a comment.